You are watching the Steelers Talk live show presented by Prize Picks. Ponzi, if we can get the Prize Picks logo there in the top right when you get a second, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the show. Of course, this week it is the second week of the Steelers preseason as we are gearing up for the second game of the Steelers preseason versus the New York Jets at Acrisure Stadium this weekend. And we got the word from head coach Mike McCarthy today that it will, in fact, be Will Howard getting the start in this preseason game. He'll be getting the entirety of the first half, and rookie quarterback out of Penn State, Drew Aller, will be getting the entire second half. We'll be talking about that in our first segment on today's show with the latest Steelers news and rumors. Lots to discuss at the top of the show. Then we'll get into Tomlin's biggest flaw that I think Patrick Graham is fixing in this Steelers defense this year. Then we'll get into some storylines to watch versus the New York Jets on Friday evening. And then, of course, our Madden simulated season continues with an AFC championship game versus the New England Patriots. So make sure you guys stick around to the end of the show to see that Madden stream. But get the party started for me down there in the comment section, guys. I'm giving shout outs right now. Spam those me's in the live chat room right now. If you've already clicked that thumbs up icon, the real ones know liking the video and liking the stream is the best way to get more people in here. The more people that are here, the more people that are going to subscribe, the more people that are going to interact in the chat, the more fun it is for everybody. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon to kick off today's show and spam those me's. We've got Logan Fligman in the chat. We've got Thing. We've got Eugene. We've got Rayzilla. We've got Jarrett Clark, Eugene. Mexamander's here. Joseph is here. We've got Kevin Reed is here as always. We've got Czar Craig here as always. Jack Hay is here. Mickelson is here. Betts is here. Calvin. We've got William. Beach Boy Mail. We've got Kevin Reed, Will, D-Mac, Mickelson, Nate, Preston, Ashley, Joshua, Heavy, Morgan. We got a great crew of Steelers fans ready to talk some ball. Already 230 plus people are in the chat room, guys. And if you want to get your question on screen next to me and Ponzi here, if you got a topic you want us to discuss, if you have a question you want me to answer, if you have a concern you want me to address, I'd be happy to do that. All you have to do is send in a super chat of any dollar amount, $2, $5, $10, $20, $50, $100. I don't care, guys. If you guys donate any of your hard-earned money to this channel, we're going to make sure you get up on screen and we talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. You guys can also send in your money via Venmo and PayPal if you guys want to do that, and you guys want more of your donation dollars to actually go back to us here at Steelers Talk. The thing about YouTube Super Chats, guys, is that YouTube takes a 30% cut of every Super Chat you send in, and then Apple takes another 10% cut. So like almost half the money that you're donating to the channel via Super Chat is not going back to us here at Steelers Talk by Chat Sports. If you guys want us to keep more of the money that you donate, you guys can go to Venmo at Jack-Sperry, send in your donation there, or you guys can go to at Captain Jackrabbit on PayPal and donate on that platform. Also, Venmo and PayPal questions get answered first. If you're going to help us out, we're going to help you out, and you're going to get your question answered first, and you're going to skip all of the Super Chat questions if you donate via Venmo or PayPal today. Then our donation menu here today, any donation is going to get you on screen at $10. We'll wave the towel around, do some Here We Go Steelers is $20. You get your name on the Steelers Talk Hall of Fame gong here. Then for a $50 Super Chat, we'll bang, and we'll do some tortilla slaps here. So hopefully we have a good show here today, guys. Can't wait to talk some Steelers football with you guys here on a beautiful Wednesday evening. But before we get into the content today, and before we get to your Super Chats, let's have a word from our presenting sponsor here on Steelers Talk, which is Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Preseason football is here, and there isn't a better place to cash in on your football takes this year than with our friends at Prize Picks. The app is really easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stat projections and then lock in your lineup. You guys could take a look here at this season-long lineup that I got going for the AFC North heading into the 2026 professional football season. I'm taking the more on passing touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers, the more on sacks for Jalen Ramsey, and the more on rushing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. This particular lineup is a 6x multiplier lineup, which means whatever you put in your entry fee, in this case $10, you're going to win 6 times your money in this case $60 in winnings if you get all 3 of these projections correct in what Prize Picks calls a power play. But best of all, guys, Prize Picks just switched their offer. All you have to do is play your first $5 lineup with code HMA, and if you win that lineup, you get $150 in additional lineups. Because of this new offer, there's not a better time to join than right now, right before the start of football season, so lock in and win that first lineup. One more time, that's code HMA at sign-up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. As always, play responsibly, and a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring us here on Steelers Talk Live.
We got a flurry of Bernard Super Chats.
Lots of Bernard Super Chats. We will
8.
The Rodgers 8, right? We have to I mean, Bernard's guys, Aaron Rodgers, he had to get eight questions in there. By the way, Ponzi, could you slack Lopez and ask him if he could possibly finish up copy on Steelers news and rumors? I have it templated out. It's pretty easy for him.
Gotcha.
$5 here for Bernard. Says Hall of Fame Vikings wide receiver Chris Carter said Rodgers has lost his passion for the game of football. I highly doubt Chris knows Aaron Rodgers and, let alone knows his passion levels. I think that this is completely conjecture and complete speculation, and just Chris Carter's perspective on it. And this isn't really drawn from anything from him knowing Aaron Rodgers or anything like that. I think, frankly, Carter is talking out of his ass here, with all due respect to the Hall of Fame wide receiver. Next question from Bernard here. Says it needs to be... I don't know what that word is. It needs to be Howard and Aller next week, too. And it might be. And listen, man, if Drew Aller plays really well this week again, I wouldn't be shocked if we see Drew Aller get the first half next week and Will Howard get the second half in the preseason finale. So I think that is absolutely something that could happen here. But obviously this week it's going to be Howard in the first half, Aller in the second. Then $5 from Bernard Nixon says, is Mason the number 2 since he's not playing on Friday? Listen, man, I think if you ask me right now, I think that he's probably the QB2 this season. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Will Howard is going to get cut. Right now, there's a lot of speculation that this team could keep 4 quarterbacks. Now, you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of that strategy because it's a win-now season, and that's a roster spot you could use on another player at a different position group that can actually help win football games this year for this team. And I don't love the idea of just having essentially 3 players that aren't on the field on the Steelers roster. But it does seem like, especially if Howard keeps playing well, the Steelers, a team that is looking for a future starter at quarterback, isn't going to want to get rid of any potential long-term options at their disposal, especially if they're playing well. So I don't think this team wants to get rid of Mason. Now, maybe there's a trade of some variety that happens here, and it ends up being Howard and Aller as the backups here in Pittsburgh. I'm sure the Steelers would be at least open to that idea if there's a team interested in a trade for Mason. But if I had to guess right now, I do think Mason Rudolph will be this team's QB2. And right now, Will Howard is fighting to be that 4th quarterback on the Steelers roster because we know Aller, as a 3rd-round pick this year, is not getting cut. But $5 again from Bernard. Says, is Mason the number? Or never mind, that's the same one. $2 from Bernard this time. Says, it's put up or shut up time for Will. Completely agree. I think that there's a lot of pressure on Will in these next 2 preseason games. I think he passed the test of the first week. All right, I thought that there was some, skittishness in the pocket a little bit. He had a turnover-worthy throw, his final throw of the game, where he kind of threw an ill-advised throw over the middle of the field when everything else was covered up. In that moment, you just got to throw it away or take the sack or continue to try to extend the play, but you can't throw it over the middle of the field ill-advised like that. So I thought Will had some more peaks and valleys than some of the other quarterbacks in that first preseason game, but I thought that overall he looked pretty good, especially on the bootleg stuff. I thought that he had a lot of really good reps there. He had that awesome throw to beat cover 2 to Robert Tonyan. That was fantastic with a really good pocket adjustment there. So I'm excited to see what Will can do in the first half here, but certainly he's fighting for his roster spot here in Pittsburgh. $5 from Bernard Nixon again says, do you think A-Rod will throw over the middle of the field more? Pony and Mosey said he won't. I mean, we'll have to see, okay? Rodgers has been somebody that likes to avoid the middle of the field, generally speaking, but we've been seeing him do it a lot more in these training camp practices. Now, obviously, it's just practice. It's not games. But we have been seeing it a lot more, and I'm excited to see if he's going to. And if the preseason game last week was any indication, this offense is going to feature a lot of in-breaking routes. So I disagree with Pony and Mosley there. I do think that this team will throw over the middle of the field more this season. $5 from Bernard Nixon again says, do you think, or people said Rodgers was to blame for the offense last year, not Arthur and Mike T? I disagree. I disagree as well. I think that, last year Rodgers was certainly a component to the offense that was limited. But I think, if you don't have Aaron Rodgers on this team last year, this offense is bottom 3, bottom 5 offense in the league with the wide receivers that they had, the heavy personnel stuff that they did. Without Aaron Rodgers, I don't think this team even sniffs like even competency. And I think they did last year. Hopefully this season, with the better weapons around him, with hopefully the better scheme from Mike McCarthy, I'm hoping that Rodgers can take this offense from a limited one last year to at least an above average one this year. $5 from Bernard again says Bengals fans and Browns fans acting like they won something. LOL. I don't know what the hell they have to celebrate about. I mean, the Browns quarterback situation is terrible. The Bengals, they could be good this year. We'll have to see if their defense takes a step up with Dexter Lawrence and some of the pieces they've added to that defensive line this year. But as we know, they suck in September under Zach Taylor, and Joe Burrow gets hurt a lot. So don't know if there's anything to be celebrating if you're in Cincinnati and Cleveland at this point. Is that it? Or do we got more? More Bernard questions. All right. He says Howard stands versus Aller stands. Let's go. LOL. Listen, man, I'm a fan of both of these guys, all right? I want both these guys to succeed. I will be rooting for both of them on Friday night. And the last thing that I want is for, Team Will Howard to be, hating on Team Drew Aller and vice versa in the chat on Friday. I want this to be an environment on Friday where it's like, hey, man, they're both Pittsburgh Steelers right now. We want both of these guys to succeed and be as good as they can possibly be. I'm looking forward to watching both of them play. I think they both played really well last week, and I have expectations for them to play well again this week here for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the preseason. $2 from Ray Zilla says, are we going to fumble Joey Porter Jr.? Listen, man, with the market and where it's at right now with the cornerback market, I would say Joey Porter Jr. is asking for at least $30 million a season, probably more than that, with a couple guys getting more than that this offseason. And I know Joey views himself as an elite corner, so he probably wants to get paid like that. And unfortunately, I don't think the Steelers necessarily view him as that valuable to this team, especially because of the amount of depth that you have at the cornerback position. Asante Samuel Jr. Has shown himself to still be like a legitimate starting option for them. Dalen Everett's been playing well. With the second team unit, they believe in him as a depth option. You still got Brandon Echols, who will eventually be back from his injury. Obviously, if this team doesn't have Joey Porter Jr. this year, it's a massive blow to the team. But I think the Steelers feel like they don't have to be desperate to pay him whatever price tag he wants because they do have enough depth and a lot of depth at the cornerback position this year. So I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I'm very hopeful that this deal will get done before the start of the season. We'll see if it's over $30 million a season. But I've been saying it for a couple weeks. If we get a Joey Porter Jr. trade request at some point, I will not be surprised by that. But if I had to guess right now, I still think a deal gets done between Porter and the Steelers. Usually when both sides want something to happen, it usually gets done. Now, if you guys want to check out our merch game, you want to help support the channel and get some Steelers Talk merch, we have a bunch of stuff up on our website right now at chatsports.com/STmerch. The link is down there in the comments and description of this live show. We got F the Ravens t-shirts, channel logo t-shirts, Pittman t-shirts. We've got Jennings Dunker mugs on there. We got Married Into This gear. We got a bunch of great stuff for you guys. And by the way, guys, my bosses tell me if we can get a couple more sales on our website here, we might be able to do a new t-shirt here on Friday evening to unveil to you guys during the preseason watch party. So if you guys want to help make that happen, go chatsports.com/STmerch. Get a piece of Steelers Talk merch in your closet today. Greatly appreciate your guys' support. All right, so let's get into our first segment of the day here, guys, which is the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. But before we get into that, Giovanni has come in with a $5 Venmo. Giovanni P. $5 Venmo here from my friends says, if the quarterback class is as good as it's potentially projected, would you stick with and bank on Aller's progression or get the more solidified prospect in the draft, assuming you'd probably have to trade up in the draft to get one of those guys, though? Listen, man, if Drew Aller shows enough development over the course of this year. And by the way, he's going to be the scout team quarterback, I would assume, for most of the weeks of practices. So he's going to get a lot of reps with the scout team versus the first team Steelers defense, okay? So he's going to be getting a lot of reps in practice this year, and that should help his development. We're already seeing the steps in development from him. And listen, man, Drew Aller, we already knew, was a round one caliber physical talent. Okay. The big question with him is, could he be consistent at the NFL level? Could he be taught to do that? Can he be taught good footwork? Can he be taught to mentally process a defense at this level? Can he be accurate to the short and intermediate levels of the field and hit those layups? To this point, he has shown every indication that he is capable of doing that, or at least he's taking steps in the right direction in those areas. And the thing about drafting a rookie quarterback next year, Giovanni, that you have to take into account is that he's probably not going to play right away next season. You'd probably have another veteran quarterback that would be starting the year off, because Mike McCarthy is not the type of coach that just says, okay, first-round pick, you are our starting quarterback immediately. He's an older school guy, and I think part of the reason why they wanted to bring back Aaron Rodgers this year is they wanted to get a very talented quarterback in here in Drew Aller, and they wanted to pair him up with a mentor like Aaron Rodgers, who is one of the smartest quarterbacks of all time. He's the world's leading expert on how to play quarterback in this particular offense. And we've been hearing Drew Aller articulate all camp long how Aaron Rodgers is helping him along, especially with his mental process, because Rodgers has been playing these concepts for years since he's taken over the Green Bay Packers starting quarterback job. I believe it was way back in 2007, 2008. And yeah, exactly. And he's somebody that, knows these plays inside out, backwards, and sideways, right? So to have that guidance there, to be like, your eyes should be here. This is the player you're supposed to be reading. All this different stuff. It's going to help out Drew Aller tremendously. And with all this nuance and with all this technical training that he's getting from Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Arth, we already know that that's being paired with a round one caliber physical talent. So for me, Giovanni, if I had to guess right now, the plan is for the Steelers to start Drew Aller at the start of the 2027 NFL season. Plus, in that scenario, you can use your first round pick on a player that can help you win next year, as opposed to having to spend a pick on a quarterback, sit him for another year while he learns behind a veteran, and then, okay, now we have to fast forward to 2028 before we really see this rookie get a chance to play. I think that Drew Aller is somebody that, has a decent chance to develop here in Pittsburgh. He's got the perfect setup to develop into a franchise caliber guy. And as long as he's showing every step and he's hitting all the strides along the way this year, I don't think there's any reason for the Steelers to go out and draft a quarterback in round one of the NFL draft next year. But we'll see what happens. All right, man. So is this a new promotion that we're doing right now, Ponzi? Let's subtract that by 10. Yeah. All right. So we're getting a message from our bosses here, guys, where they say if we can get 20 more sales of any item on our merch website from now until the start of the game on Friday, if we can get 20 more sales of T-shirts, of mugs, or anything else we have up on the website, we are going to be unveiling a brand new T-shirt that will be going up for sale on Friday evening on the watch party. Okay, so if you guys want to help us out here, you guys can go to chatsports.com/stmerch. If you guys want us to unveil that new T-shirt design for you on Friday evening. All right, man. Well, let's get into our first segment of the day here, which is the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. We also got a bunch of great stuff coming up later in the show. I'm going to be revealing Mike Tomlin's biggest flaw as a defensive mind and how Patrick Graham is fixing that problem. Then we'll get into top 5 storylines to watch versus the New York Jets on Friday night. And then we'll get into our latest Madden sim, where it's the AFC Championship game versus the New England Patriots. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into our first segment of the day, the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome into Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and tonight on the show, the quarterback rotation for preseason week 2 for your Pittsburgh Steelers has been revealed by head coach Mike McCarthy. I'll talk about that at the top. Then we'll get into some more injury updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a lot of Steelers that are out with injuries right now, and I'll talk about my concern level about that. Then we'll get into some contract details that were newly released here on Keanu Benton's newly signed extension, so don't go anywhere for them. because we're going to be talking about that later in the show. But our live watch party for preseason week 2 is going to begin at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time this week. That is an hour and a half before kickoff there in Pittsburgh. We'll be answering your questions. We'll be doing a 90-minute pregame show with super chat raffles at the very end. We've got live play-by-play and analysis of the game itself once we get into the game, and then, of course, our post-game coverage right after that game concludes. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Join us for every single Steelers Talk watch party this season because we're going to be providing you guys that extensive game day experience here on YouTube for Pittsburgh Steelers fans. So if you don't want to miss any of that, click that subscribe button. All right, so we did get the official QB rotation for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the upcoming Week 2 preseason matchup versus the New York Jets, and Mike McCarthy announced that second-year quarterback out of Ohio State, Will Howard, will be getting the entire first half, and then rookie quarterback out of Penn State, Drew Aller, will be getting the entirety of the second half. Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph will not play in this preseason game. This is what McCarthy had to say earlier today in the south side of Pittsburgh. They are young. Will didn't get to play last year, and Drew is a first-year player. I have two veterans I feel really good about in Aaron and Mason. I saw what I needed to see from Mason last week. I've talked highly about Mason really since the spring. I really want to max out the opportunities with both Will and Drew. Now, in my opinion, guys, this is 100% the right call from Mike McCarthy to get these guys as many reps as you possibly can to see what these guys have, at least in a preseason setting. Obviously, you don't really know what these guys have as potential starters in this league until they play in the regular season against real NFL defenses. But these two guys, I think, have shown a lot of promise, and we did see some good things from Mason Rudolph last week. I completely agree with this decision from Mike McCarthy. In fact, I don't think the veteran quarterback should play another snap this preseason. Every single snap for the rest of the preseason should be played by either Will Howard or Drew Aller at the quarterback position. But here's a question that kind of comes from this, guys. Because Mason Rudolph is not playing this week, does that mean that Rudolph is pretty much now locked in to be this team's QB2 and pretty much a lock to make this roster? Because here's the thing, guys. Usually the only people that don't play in preseason games are people that either A, are for sure making the roster, or B, are injured, and Mason isn't injured right now, all right? So maybe it is the case that they just want to get a really good look at Will Howard and Drew Aller, and maybe Will plays so well that they're like, oh, Mason Rudolph, we're going to cut you, but I kind of feel like the Steelers would give Mason a fighting chance into play in these preseason games to show what he can do before just cutting him for Will Howard, who lights it up in a couple of preseason games here before they end up making that decision. So I do think that Mason's chances of making this team and being this team's QB2 to start the year are pretty high at this point. But also, at this point, guys, if that's the case, that it definitely feels that Will Howard, isn't really battling with Mason Rudolph to be the QB2 of this team at this point. Even if he plays really well in the second and third weeks of the preseason, it still feels like the Steelers are going to lean on Mason Rudolph's experience at the QB2 position as opposed to Will Howard and his youth. And right now, I would say Howard is more fighting with himself and more battling with himself, where he's got to play well or he's not going to be the fourth QB to make this roster. Now, I will say rostering 4 quarterbacks here in Pittsburgh, I think, is a legit possibility, okay? This team continues to talk extremely highly about both Mason Rudolph and Will Howard, and it's not like they're going to trash either one of those guys in the media, but it seems like every time they get asked this question or a question about Mason or about Will, they just absolutely gush about both of them, and McCarthy keeps talking about how he sees a future with Will Howard and all this different stuff, and he thinks he's a future starter in this league. That's not how you talk about somebody that you're planning on waiving at the end of the preseason. And then he keeps talking about how impressed he's been with Mason Rudolph. He's not going to be playing him in these preseason games. I just think that this is something where we're starting to trend toward the Steelers keeping all 4 quarterbacks, and especially if Will Howard continues to play well in these preseason games, that is a distinct possibility at this current point in time. But if any quarterback gets cut, I will say at this point, it appears that choice would be Will Howard. Obviously he was drafted with a 6th-round pick. The team doesn't really owe him anything. And if they feel like Drew Aller is the better long-term starting quarterback option and they don't want to sacrifice having a high-end QB2 in Mason Rudolph on the team this year, then if they waive somebody, I do think Will Howard is probably the guy that ends up getting cut here. And that sucks for Will because I think he's played well. He's done everything that the team has asked him to do. But I think that's just the unfortunate situation that he finds himself in at this point. But hey, if he continues to play well in the preseason, the chances of him potentially being the fourth quarterback on this roster, will go up. So predict it for me down there in the comments section. Will Howard make the roster this season? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think. And while you give me a yes or no answer down there in the comments section, I'm going to tell you about our presenting sponsor here on Steelers Talk, which is Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Preseason football is here, guys, and there isn't a better place to cash in on your football takes this year than with our friends at Prize Picks. The app is really easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player stat projections and then lock in your lineup. You guys can take a look here at a season-long lineup I have going for the AFC North this year, which is to take the more on passing touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers, the more on sacks for TJ Watt, and the less on passing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. This particular projection is a 6x multiplier lineup, so essentially what that means is that you can win 6 times your money that you put in your entry fee. So for example here, $20 in the entry fee in this particular projection. If you win, you get $120, 6 times your money in winnings if you get all 3 of these projections correct in what Prize Picks calls a power play. But best of all, guys, Prize Picks just switched their offer. All you have to do is play your first $5 lineup with code HMA, and if you win that lineup, you get $150 in additional lineups. Because of this new offer, there's not a better time to join than right now, right before the start of football season. So lock in and win that first lineup today. One more time, that's code HMA at sign-up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. As always, play responsibly, and a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring us here at Steelers Talk. Now, going over some injury updates here. These are all the players that did not practice for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jennings Dunker ended up getting a new injury here recently, and he was not in pads today. Hopefully he's going to be okay because he played really well in the preseason opener. Would like to see him more as the preseason goes on. But Michael Pittman Jr., DK Metcalf continue to be injured. Maxi Honiger continues to not be suited up for practice. And then Brandon Smith and Sebastian Joseph Day, who have also missed time, did not practice today either. But then we get to just the DBs, and you guys can see why the Steelers are now being linked to a number of different backup veteran DBs in trade rumors here. It's because you got 6 members of your secondary dealing with some sort of injury. Dalen Everett did not practice today. Apparently he has a new injury. Brandon Echols is dealing with an ankle. Joey Porter Jr. is dealing with a quote-unquote back injury, but we all know what that is at this point. Jalen Ramsey's dealing with a knee. And then Israel Mukuamu is another new injury here at safety. And then Jaquan Brisker has been dealing with an injury as well over the last several weeks. But Mike McCarthy did have good news on some of these big-name players. He said that he expects all these players to be ready to go by the start of week 1. Obviously, these are very important pieces, not only to the perimeter of your offense, but also to your defense. So let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. What is your concern level for Pittsburgh's expanding injury list right now? It seems like we're definitely getting a lot of injuries, especially on the back end of the defense. So let me know your concern level. 1 meaning not concerned at all. We're going to be just fine. To 10 meaning 5-alarm fire. We got to go get a new player right now. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. And then we can get to Keanu Benton here, who just got his massive contract extension here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And after new details emerged on his extension, this deal just got even better for the Pittsburgh Steelers, folks. So the baseline kind of numbers here, 4 years, $72 million total, just like we talked about in the breaking news video a few days ago. He's getting $18 million per season, obviously, with the math there. And then we found out today he's only getting $14 million of that fully guaranteed. Okay, so this is a contract that the Steelers can actually get out of pretty darn easily if Keanu Benton is not living up to the cap hits that he's going to be taking up here over the next several years. This year, still a very low cap hit, less than $5 million, and that's going to incrementally increase over the course of the contract. But these numbers, guys, very, very doable, especially because the cap number here in the National Football League is going up by at least $20 million, like a bunch, like a lot of money year in and year out at this point. So the Steelers are absolutely going to be able to afford this, especially with the raising, cap numbers that is happening year in and year out because of the new TV deals that the NFL has. And also if the Steelers feel the need to have to get rid of Keanu Benton and he's not playing well or he's getting injured a lot and they want to save some cap dollars, the dead cap charges are not that high. Now, I would say over the next 2 years, you're probably keeping Keanu Benton. But starting as early as 2028, it's very reasonable to get out of this contract if the Steelers feel the need that they have to. So really like this move by Omar Khan, and I liked it, when the news came out, but I think that this deal went from good to great based on this new information, and it was another excellent deal done by Steelers GM Omar Khan. Hopefully he can do something like this for Joey Porter Jr.'s deal. But listen, man, if Benton breaks out, this is an absolute steal. Like, this is one of the more disruptive and more athletic interior pass rushers in the league, and that definitely means something. And because he's not going to be playing in the nose tackle spot this year, there should be more opportunities for him to get after quarterbacks. I think Benton's going to have a hell of a season rushing the passer this year. And if he turns into one of the best pass rushing DTs in the league this season, which I think he could be, this is going to be absolutely worth the money that they're paying for him down the road here. But then if he struggles and he's not playing well, and, he's not a big part of this defensive line moving forward, Pittsburgh can get out of this pretty darn soon. Like we talked about, after 2 more seasons, you can very realistically get out of this deal with Keanu Benton. So this is a very good deal done by the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, guys. And I'm really excited to see what Benton can do over the next 5 seasons he's under contract here in the Steel City. So it's red pen time. Let me know down there in the comments. Grade the Keanu Benton extension with this additional info that we got today on his contract structure. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F down there in the comment section to finish up today's show. For me, guys, my grade on this deal is an A. I really like this move by GM Omar Khan. It really locks him into a fantastic value contract if he plays really well, but also if he's not playing well, you can get out of it pretty darn easily. This is a relatively low risk, but definitely high reward move for GM Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Greatly appreciate your support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button to finish up today's show, because if you liked what you heard today, we're going to have more Steelers videos for you guys tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. So if you don't want to miss any of our free coverage, make sure you click that subscribe button. And until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers. All right, man. Oh, I needed that drink badly. Coming up next, I'm going to be revealing what Mike Tomlin's biggest flaw was as a defensive head coach and why Patrick Graham, I believe, is fixing that biggest problem heading into this season. Also, make sure you guys stick around because we've got our preseason Week 2 preview where I break down the top storylines heading into this week's preseason game versus the Jets, and then we have our Madison coming up later as well, so don't go anywhere. Let's cover some Super Chats here. No Venmo, Gamer Plush with a 5 says, do you think Max starts over Cook when he is healthy? Probably not. I would say at this point with the Honichur injury, the chances that Dylan Cook is above him on the depth chart is close to 100%. Now, it's not 100% because if Max gets hurt, or if Dylan gets hurt, I should say, Max is probably going to step up, or maybe even Broderick Jones steps up before they give Maxie Honichur the keys. I don't know the answer to that particular question, but it definitely seems at this point with Max missing as much time as he has in pads throughout this camp, he's probably going to start the season on the bench. And if there's an injury, he can come in and play. But we're just going to have to see what happens with this particular position. $5 from Bernard Nixon says, Chris Carter also said A-Rod can't run no more and can't make plays outside the pocket like he used to. Like, duh, he's 42 years old. Yeah, but you know who else can't do those things? Matthew Stafford. He won league MVP last year. You know who couldn't do those things? Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Same thing goes for Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Those guys couldn't make plays out of the pocket. Those guys couldn't do shit when it came to out-of-structure playmaking, right? They were fantastic in-structure playmakers, which I still think Rodgers has the capability of doing. So that's my take on it. Chris Carter, also longtime Aaron Rodgers hater. Just keep that in mind. $5 from Bernard Nixon says, if they keep 4 QBs, it is what it is. I still hate it. Yeah, man. I mean, the best way to think of it is this team has 2 goals right now. Number 1 is to try and compete for a Super Bowl right now while Cam Hayward and Aaron Rodgers, TJ Watt, those guys are older. You want to win for those guys right now, but also you want to find your next franchise quarterback. And if you feel good about not just 1, but 2 young quarterbacks on your roster that you don't want to get rid of, but you also don't want to sacrifice your goal of winning this season and, having a good backup quarterback you trust to play in games this year, I guess I can understand where they would be coming from, but I'm with you, Bernard. I wouldn't necessarily agree with that decision. I would rather keep that roster spot available for somebody else that can actually help us win this year. But get on the show, guys. Make sure you super chat just like Bernard and those other guys just did. To get your question up on screen. You guys can also Venmo me or PayPal me to get your questions answered first and skip the line of Super Chat questions. You guys can find me on Venmo at Jack-Sparrow or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. And our donation menu today, guys, any donation gets on screen, gets their question answered, all that great stuff. $10, we'll do some Here We Go Steelers Chance, $20 gets your name on the gong, $50 we bang, and we do a tortilla slap. So if you guys want to see me slap the crap out of Ponzi, I know he could wake up today a little bit. It's been a pretty busy day. Maybe we just want to wake up a little bit here. You guys could send in a $50 donation. We'll make sure that gets done for you. All right, let's get into our next segment of the day here, guys, which is Mike Tomlin's biggest flaw that I believe Patrick Graham is fixing here in Pittsburgh this year. You are watching Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Make sure you guys download the Prize Picks app today and play your first $5 lineup with code HMA. And if you win that lineup, you get $150 in bonus lineups. And on today's show, guys, I'm going to be breaking down Patrick Graham, the new Steelers defensive coordinator here in 2026, that I believe is going to be fixing Mike Tomlin's biggest flaw that really, put a cap on this Steelers defense, in my opinion, in recent seasons. But before we get into the video today, guys, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you're excited to watch this defense this year like I am and we are here at Steelers Talk. I think Patrick Graham was an excellent defensive coordinator hire, and I think he's going to do some really good things here in Pittsburgh this season. Now, in my opinion, guys, Mike Tomlin's biggest flaw when it comes to a defensive mind towards the end of his tenure here in Pittsburgh was his predictability. Every single team that we played knew exactly the way Mike Tomlin likes to play defense, and they knew exactly how to attack it. And Mike Tomlin's philosophy was always, quote unquote, we do what we do. All right. And, you can kind of hear this from coaches at times where it's like, we don't care what the opponent's going to run. All we care about is what we're going to run and making sure that we are the best that we can possibly be at doing what we do. And that was Mike Tomlin's philosophy. And that's kind of where the Tomlinism, if you've ever heard it, nameless gray faces, comes from, because his philosophy was, we don't care who's on the other sideline. We don't care what scheme they run. We're going to run what we run, and we're going to run it at a high level. All right. And there's some merit to that. But the problem with that, in my opinion, guys, especially in the modern day NFL with all of the great NFL coaching, prodigies on the offensive side of the ball, is that if you're predictable in terms of your scheme on defense, great coaches like Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, etc., are going to come up with good plans to attack you and your weaknesses based on your tendencies. And, I think that this is exactly why this team and this defense has struggled versus elite play callers over the last several years. Like Kyle Shanahan, if you remember that opening week blowout versus the 49ers a couple years ago, Kansas City multiple times, Andy Reid making mincemeat of Mike Tomlin's defense, right? Matt LaFleur last year on Sunday Night Football when we played the Packers, right? When you play these really good play callers that know how to attack the tendencies that the Steelers were running under Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin, it just became easy for those units, and it was easy to practice for. It was easy to execute against in-game because they knew exactly what was coming, and there was really not a whole lot of post-snap rotations or trickeration or anything like that to get them off of those tendencies. And what those tendencies are, guys, is I like to call it 3-2-1 defense, all right, where Mike Tomlin's defensive philosophy was really play cover 3, some variety of it on first down, then throw in Tampa 2 on second down to get you into third down, and then we're going to play man coverage, and we're going to do a dog blitz and play man free with 5 rushers on the quarterback on third down, and we're going to win with straight one-on-one matchup domination, all right? And that was Mike Tomlin's philosophy for pretty much his entire tenure here in Pittsburgh. But another thing that really affects, certain players in this offense is that predictability, right? Or in this defense, I should say. The predictability, I think, really limited the stars' impacts in this defense over the last several years, particularly Minkah Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt. Everybody knew Minkah Fitzpatrick was going to be playing in the post every single play, essentially. So they just said, okay, this week we're just not going to throw it into the deep post, and they're going to take Minkah Fitzpatrick out of this football game. And then with TJ Watt, you always knew he was going to line up over the right tackle. So you knew exactly where to put your guys to double team him and chip him and, take away his impact on the football field on any given Sunday. So that predictability not only just made the whole unit worse, it made your star players worse. And listen, man, why are we paying all these guys all this money if they're not going to be big-time impacts for this defense? And I think it was way past due for a modern refresh on the defensive side of the ball here in Pittsburgh, guys. But I have good news for you. I think that's exactly what Patrick Graham is bringing to the table here in the Steel City heading into the 2026 season. And I think he's got a chance to turn turn the Steelers defense into one of the best in the National Football League. But before I reveal the reasons why I think that's going to be the case, I want to tell you about our first presenting sponsor here on Steelers Talk today, which is SeatGeek. The Steelers 2026 schedule is now set, and tickets for every single Steelers game this year, home, away, and international, is now available for purchase on the SeatGeek app. Use code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets today. When you go on the SeatGeek app, you're going to see this menu when you go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You just scroll down to the game you want to go see. Once you click into the game, you guys can see the stadium view where you see all those green dots, which show you the best possible values that are available on their app. And then once you click into a specific seat, you get the view from that seat and all the relevant information for you guys to make the best possible decision for you and your family when you're buying your next set of tickets to go see the Steelers play a football game. And whether it's a baseball game with the kids, beautiful PNC Park before the Pirates season is over, or an Ed Sheeran concert with the wife, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a value scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a great deal every single time. So look for the green dots when using the SeatGeek app. Green obviously means good, and red obviously means bad. And of course, I have a code for you guys to get an even better deal. Use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets on SeatGeek. One more time, that's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later on. And a big thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's edition of Steelers Talk. All right, so Patrick Graham is one of the most respected defensive coordinators in the entire National Football League, guys. There's a reason why he was held on, and he was held on to as the defensive coordinator of the Las Vegas Raiders for multiple different coaching changes at the head coaching spot. It's because a lot of these people in the league understand that Patrick Graham is one of the best schematic, kind of influencers in the entire National Football League defensive space. This comes from Cody Alexander from Match Quarters, who I thought had a really good explanation of what Patrick Graham is as a defensive coordinator. He says, I think that the playbook is going to change a little bit in Pittsburgh this year. Patrick Graham is somebody that has typically been in the top 10 in blitz rate, top 10 in disguise rate for coverages. You're still going to have that cover 3 foundation that has really been there for a long time, so you're not really reteaching things conceptually. Graham, to me, has always been really good at getting in particular game plans. He's trying to game plan for that particular week. I always watch Patrick Graham because you get really good creative ways to run cover 3, and you get really good blitz structures. Now, this is obviously a big change, guys, because unlike Coach Tomlin, Patrick Graham will have tailored game plans for each week's opponent, like Cody just explained. With Mike Tomlin, it was nameless gray faces. We don't care who's on the other sideline. We don't care what they run. We are going to play our brand of football, and that's it. But that is not in line with the Bill Belichickian view of defensive play calling, which is to be adaptable, is to attack the weaknesses of the team that you're playing. And frankly, that is what made Bill Belichick, and that is what makes Patrick Graham, and why he's been able to kind of take these defenses throughout the course of his defensive play calling career in New York and in Las Vegas and turn them into kind of decent units in certain years. When he's had terrible, frankly, talent to work with. And this year he has by far the most talent he's ever had to work with here with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, most NFL coaches, guys, they run a specific system and even were hired to run that system. And this is for both offensive and defensive coaches, right? Certain coaches get hired to run the Kyle Shanahan scheme that they're taking over from San Francisco, or the Sean McVay scheme that they're taking over from Los Angeles. On the defensive side of the ball, they're brought in to run the Mike McDonald defense or whatever the case may be. But they don't want to, or they can't make adjustments based on personnel if they don't have the right players to be able to play that scheme at a high level. With Graham, you're not going to have that issue because he is, played under, or he's coached under Steve Spagnuolo, Brian Flores, Bill Belichick, all these different types of defenses, and he knows how to be adaptable and he knows how to tailor his defensive scheme, A, to the players that he has at his disposal, and B, the tendencies of his opponent and how to attack what they want to do. This is what Cody Alexander had to say about that particular area of Patrick Graham's profile. Those static structures that the Steelers fans have seen forever, of where it's like, I know we're in cover 3 or I know we're in quarters, be ready during this season to be like, I have no idea what we're in or what we're about to be in, because that's kind of what Patrick Graham's been able to do. Now, just because it's going to be more ambiguous and it's going to not be as predictable, guys, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be staples of this defense led by Patrick Graham. And cover 3 is still very much going to be a staple here in Pittsburgh, particularly on early downs. By the way, cover 3 is a staple in literally every single NFL defense today. It is the most used coverage by far in the NFL by and large. And I really like the way Patrick Graham uses cover 3, which is that he has a weak side rotation from a 2 high safety structure. By the way, shout out to Cody Alexander and Match Quarters for this thumbnail that they actually have on a video you guys should check out. It's an awesome video, but I think it's a really good descriptor of what the weak side safety's job is in this cover 3 look, where you are running, a quote unquote traditional cover 3, but this safety's job here is to take that hook zone. And then if nobody comes onto that side of the field, then his job is to scan the strong side of the field to see if any deep crossers are coming across the field, and then it's his job to take that crosser, all right? So I really, really like the way that Patrick Graham finds creative ways to get into these weak rotation style cover 3 looks. And I love that he bases it out of a split field coverage pre-snap, because you could run quarters out of that. You could do another rotation, do cover 1. You could run cover 0 in certain looks against certain looks offensively from this 2 high safety structure. So I really, really like this, guys. I think it's going to be way better than just the static 1 high safety cover 3 looks that we've been seeing from Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin for years. And I think it will pay dividends as early as this season. And I also think Patrick Graham is going to turn up the heat with this defense this year. Guys, we actually did a whole video on the different styles of pressure that Patrick Graham likes to run, and why I believe it's going to be the return of Blitzburg here in Pittsburgh in 2026. Did a whole video on that. I'll put the chip to that one in the top right if you want to check that out to see the various ways Patrick Graham plans on putting pressure on his opposing quarterbacks. And make sure you click that subscribe button, as always, to never miss any of our free videos that we provide for you guys here on YouTube. Continuing on here with more ways that Patrick Graham is going to benefit this defense, guys, and I think he should be able to get more out of TJ Watt this season. We talked about how in the previous scheme, everybody knew where TJ Watt was going to line up on every single freaking snap so that they could game plan for that, but that's not going to be the case this year. This is what Cody Alexander from Match Quarters again had to say about Patrick Graham's influence on TJ Watt's game this year. He says, I know that Watt has talked about not just playing on one side. I know that there's that comfort zone and that there's that safety blanket of playing on one side, but playing edge is a little different than playing left tackle and right tackle. You should be able to move around, and it's going to help amplify his game as well. I would also say get ready for a lot of 3 outside linebacker NASCAR packages as well, where you have TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Nick Herbig all on the field at the same time. And I do think Patrick Graham, who's a very creative front guy, where he likes to run a lot of creative fronts and put people in different positions and all this different stuff, and he likes to do stunts and loops and that sort of stuff as well. I would say on third downs, man, look for some very creative blitz looks from Patrick Graham this year, utilizing these 3 men who are absolutely fantastic pass rushers. Now, coming up next year on Steelers Talk, we've got a big upgrade to this defense that Patrick Graham is bringing next year that nobody is talking about right now. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about our other presenting sponsor here on Steelers Talk, which is Prize Picks. And you guys should definitely check out a awesome season-long Prize Picks projection here, guys, that I absolutely have fallen in love with here, which is to take the more on sacks for TJ Watt heading into the 2026 season. Right now, Prize Picks only lists Watt's sack total at 10.75 sacks. So if he can get 11 sacks or more, you're going to be making this a big part of your season-long lineup. And I think with Patrick Graham implementing all of these new ways to get TJ Watt one-on-one looks, I think he's going to get a lot more than those sacks if he can stay healthy this season. So take the more on that. That would be my advice. But I'm also pairing this up with taking the more on passing touchdowns for Aaron Rodgers and the less on passing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. If you do that, right now on the Prize Picks app, it is a 6x multiplier lineup in what Prize Picks calls a power play, which means you have to get all 3 of the projections correct. But if you do so, you walk away with more winnings. If you put $20 in an entry fee in, you guys could walk away with $120 in winnings from Prize Picks. And best of all, guys, Prize Picks just switched their offer. All you have to do is play your first $5 lineup with code HMA. And if you win that lineup, you get $150 in additional lineups. Because of this new offer, there's not a better time to join than right now, right before the start of football season, so lock in and win that first lineup today. One more time, that's code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. As always, play responsibly, and a big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring us here at Steelers Talk. Now, something that doesn't get talked about, I think, enough is that Patrick Graham, over the years, has been an awesome run defensive coordinator, and he should really help improve the inconsistencies in run defense that we've seen here in Pittsburgh over the last several years. First of all, it does appear that this team has made the correct decision, and they're moving Keanu Benton out of the nose tackle spot. Another big weakness of Mike Tomlin was that he would play players out of position, and it doesn't seem like this coaching staff is going to be doing that, and it seems like Keanu Benton will be playing more 3-tech, more 4-eye, more 5-tech in certain situations. Positions where he can really get after the quarterback, essentially. And I think he'll be more of a passing downs type of player than somebody that's out there a lot during early run-heavy downs. But this is what Cody Alexander had to say about Patrick Graham as a run defense coach. He says, the one part that nobody talks about is going to be a really good run defense here in Pittsburgh. And that is one thing Patrick Graham has always been able to do. I think a lot of it has to do with structure, understanding what you are trying to do in your run game. How can I leverage my defenders against that? And then I think playing base defense and feeling comfortable enough to play in base as well. And I do think that is something that we could see a lot, especially on early downs here in Pittsburgh this year, is base defense, where you only have 4 DBs on the field. You've got 4 linebackers and 3 defensive linemen on the field. And essentially what that would look like is Jalen Ramsey would go up top to play safety alongside Deshaun Elliott, and you essentially put on an extra defender along the front to make that happen. And we've seen that with the Pittsburgh Steelers defense in the past, but obviously with Peyton Wilson, Patrick Queen not being great run defenders, along with Keanu Benton at the nose tackle spot, the middle of that run defense was squishy at best. I think they've fixed a lot of those issues this year with some of the players they've brought in and the scheme changes that they've made. So really excited about this run defense this year, guys. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. What is your confidence level in Patrick Graham as Pittsburgh's new defensive coordinator heading into the season? Put it on a scale of 1, meaning no confidence at all, this brother stinks, to 10, meaning all the confidence in the world, we're going to have one of the best defenses in the league this year. Let me know what you guys think to finish up today's show. And if you guys want more in-depth Steelers content from me on X, you guys can find me at Jack_Sperry on that platform. Currently going through my quarterback power rankings that I do every year on there as well. So if you guys want more Steelers and just general football content from me outside of this channel, you guys can give me a follow at Jack_Sperry. All right. Yeah, Vita Vea got extended. Listen, man, I knew the second that he requested a trade that was a negotiation tactic. And I think a lot of people, will see the words trade request and they'll freak out and be like, this guy's definitely getting traded.
Like Terry McLaurin last year. Right? And,
this might be something that we see with Joey Porter Jr. coming up, guys. We might see Joey Porter Jr. request a trade from Pittsburgh because he's not getting the contract that in the number that he wants on his contract extension. And, that's a tactic that can help get the team back to the table and put pressure on the team to get a deal done, right? Because especially if Joey Porter Jr. comes out and says, I want out of here, can you imagine the backlash that fans are going to have against the team? Joey Porter Jr. is a beloved fan favorite player, and for good reason. He's awesome, all right? His dad is a Steelers legend. If he comes out with a trade request, people are going to be like, the Steelers are fucking this up. They better fix it right now. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on Omar Khan and the Steelers to actually pay up and pay Joey the money that he feels like he's deserving of. Will it work? I don't know. Are we even going to get a trade request? I don't know. Hopefully not, right? Hopefully we can get this contract extension done sooner rather than later so we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. But listen, man, trade requests are more and more and more being used as a negotiation tactic in this league. And if Joey's not getting the money that he feels like he's deserving of, it is a quiver, or it is an arrow in his quiver that he could decide to shoot at some point.
It's also one of those things where it's like, Joey is going to, I feel like he's going to get paid. I don't think the Steelers are going to, you can clip this if you want, but I really don't think, the Steelers are going to let him go.
I don't think so either. I think both sides want to get a deal done. And usually when that happens, something happens.
Like, I mean, we could be wrong. We don't really know what's going on behind scenes, but like at the end of the day, like you were saying it yourself, he's a legend. His name already brings incredible brand value. Like, sure, would he commend a good value? Probably. Maybe a second rounder. Probably a second rounder for sure, actually. Maybe a late first for Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN said that he was definitely worth a first. He's still young, and he's a shutdown number one corner.
Yeah,
I mean, like, he's definitely worth a first, in my opinion.
Like, it's one of those things, though, where it's like, you really have to consider the fact of, what's up? No. But it's one of those things.
We do have a $2 Venmo to get to here. Hunter D with a $2 Venmo says, what combo of players do you think would make for the most entertaining / best? Let me read the rest of this. Watch Cam podcast. So, loved Queen and Elliott. So that was the first one that was released earlier this week. I think it was actually today. I think it was Patrick Queen and Deshaun Elliott went on Cam's podcast. It was really good. Last year they did Rodgers and DK.
That was an interesting dynamic.
That was interesting. I would like to see Rodgers go on there with Roman this year, and then maybe have DK and Pittman go on a separate episode. I would like to see that because I would like to see Rodgers talk about Roman's game and how it's evolved from last year to this year. I would really like to see that, and I'm sure even if it is DK and Rodgers again, he'll probably go into Roman a little bit, even though he won't be there. I would just be really interested in that episode where it's like Roman Wilson's one of the more intriguing players heading into this year because he's been so bad the first 2 years, had to essentially get benched last season, midway through the year, and now he's expected to once again be a mainstay in this starting rotation. And it's like, can we really trust this guy? I think, I mean, the more that we hear about Roman, the more it feels like that this is real. He's playing well even when the pads are on. All this different stuff. He actually played a really good game in the preseason opener. It's just Mason didn't pull the trigger to throw it to him a couple times. This is somebody that I think, has got a really good connection with Rodgers. I think he's going to be a legitimate wide receiver 3 this year. I'm excited to watch him play.
I mean, with Roman too, it's like, I always feel like, and Rodgers has talked about this, it's been a confidence thing for him. And so it's like, I'm sure getting healthy scratched, 9 weeks in a row, at the end of the season there, or at least it felt like it, did a number on his confidence. So, I mean, I'm excited to see what he could do. This really does feel like, in my opinion, the make or break season for Roman.
Yeah, for sure. $5 from Gamer Plus says one thing I liked about Aller in the preseason was his footwork. It didn't look like his Penn State days. He still has a long way to go, however. Yeah, man, he's still got a long road ahead of him before we're locking him in and saying he's the next franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I will say, last week in that preseason opener, it was a great first step. Or maybe it was the second step. The first step was looking good in the training camp practices. And we've been talking about that since my Latrobe trip, how good he looked and how much better the footwork looked and the mental processing and all that stuff, getting the ball out quickly, really taking well to the offense. But we saw that all culminate there in the preseason opener. And yes, it's absolutely the case. Vanilla coverages, bad players, all this different stuff. But the process was really good, right? Because we know Drew Aller had a round 1 caliber physical skill set. That wasn't the reason why he went round 3, all right? Like, Will Howard's got certain physical limitations, right? And that was part of the reason why he went as late as he did. With Drew Aller, he's got all the physical potential in the world, and he was a projected first-round pick because of that this time last year, all right? 365 days ago, Drew Aller was seen as a top 10 draft pick. Okay, and that was because of the incredible physical tools he brings to the table. But obviously, he went in round 3 for a reason. Coming off a major injury, the accuracy never got going in college, never took that next step. The mental processing never got there. But guess what, man? Good players can't overcome bad coaching. And I think we all agree the Penn State coaching staff under James Franklin, especially offensively, was a fucking joke. All right? And now he's going into a situation where he's getting excellent NFL-level coaching. He's getting excellent mentorship from Aaron Rodgers on how to play quarterback in this scheme. And he's playing really, really clean. Like, there's really nothing else you could have asked him to do better in that preseason opener versus the Packers. And that's the type of process that you put on film to make that team, and in this case the Pittsburgh Steelers, think this guy could be our future franchise quarterback and this guy could be our starting quarterback next season. Obviously, there's still a lot of things that need to happen. He needs to continue to play well in the preseason. He needs to show really good stuff as the scout team quarterback during the season, has to show good work habits, all these different things to lock himself in. But, I mean, to this point, he's taken every step along the way to be this team's starting quarterback next season. But then if that happens, he's got to prove himself in the regular season, right? So there's still a lot of steps left to go for Drew Aller to be, crowned this team's next franchise savior. But you're blind if you think that last week was not an encouraging sign for this extremely talented young man who's frankly a perfect fit for this offense. All right, man. Let's get into our next segment here. We'll actually get into preseason week 2. I've got my top 5 storylines to keep your eye on as the Pittsburgh Steelers will be taking on the New York Jets on Friday evening. Of course, we'll be live for that as well with our live watch party that'll start 90 minutes before kickoff at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you guys join us for that. But without further ado, let's get into our next segment here. Top 5 storylines to watch versus the Jets on Friday night. You are watching Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, presented by Prize Picks. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup. And if you win that lineup, you get $150 in bonus lineups. And today on the show, I'm going to be breaking down my top 5 storylines for Steelers fans to watch heading into preseason week 2 versus the New York Jets at Acrisure Stadium. Now, make sure you guys join us for our live watch party for this game, which will be beginning at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 90 minutes before the game actually kicks off. We're going to be having Super Chat raffles, live Q&A, so if you have questions before, during, or after the game, happy to answer the questions. We got live play-by-play and analysis, and we react to the game together, and then also we got that post-game show at the end of it as well, where I'm going to be breaking down my winners and losers from this game. But make sure you guys click that subscribe button to never miss a watch party this year. We're live for every single Steelers game this year, pre-regular, and hopefully some postseason games as well. So if you guys want to experience the 2026 Steelers season with us here on Steelers Talk, click that subscribe button and join us for our watch parties. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to be watching out for here in this game is the obvious one, right? The young quarterbacks that will be playing every single snap of offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this preseason game. The veterans, Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph, are out, and the second-year quarterback, Will Howard, will be getting the entirety of the first half. The rookie out of Penn State, Drew Aller, will be getting the entirety of the second half. In the preseason opener, we only saw these guys play 3 drives apiece, and I thought both of them passed that first test. You guys can take a look at how these guys did in that preseason opener, and I do think Drew Aller clearly put up better numbers, but obviously Will was playing against slightly better competition, that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, man, I think both these guys played pretty darn well, and they passed that first test. And now they're going to be getting more than probably 3 drives in a half to show what they can do here in the preseason. But I think the guy that's definitely under the microscope heading into this game is Will Howard, because if he wants to make this team, I think he can't afford to miss a step. He cannot afford to have like a stinker of a game in the preseason, or the chances that he's going to get cut from this team go up exponentially, in my opinion. With Mason Rudolph not playing in this game, I mean, guys that don't play in preseason are usually guys that are A, for sure making the roster, or B, are injured, and Mason Rudolph isn't injured right now. So it seems like this team really likes Mason as a QB2, so it's either they're keeping 4 quarterbacks or Will Howard's getting cut. So Will has to play so well in this preseason where the Steelers feel like it's worth it to keep 4 quarterbacks on this roster, because let's be real, guys, Drew Aller is not getting cut, but Drew still has a lot to prove heading into this game, not because he's fighting for a roster spot or a QB2 job or anything like that right now, but he's looking to really continue to kind of continue on the performance that he had in week 1, and kind of proving that wasn't a fluke, and that the accuracy issues won't pop up and all these different things. Drew doesn't want to be known as a guy that has a really good week 1 week and then he's just absolutely terrible the next week. If he wants to be a starter in this league, he's got to show that consistency, and that starts here in week 2 versus the New York Jets, as he's going to have quite a bit of runway to play the entire second half for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this preseason game, which, I'm really excited to watch. Drew Aller's got a lot of arm talent. He's very accurate, actually. I was really impressed with the accuracy and the mental processing in that preseason opener versus Green Bay last weekend, and I'm hoping that he can put on a show for us again in the second half in this one. But let me know who plays better down there in the comment section. Type WH if you think it's going to be Will Howard, or type DA if you think Drew Aller outplays the second-year quarterback out of Ohio State. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. And now I want to tell you about our brand new sponsor here on Steelers Talk, which is Courtyard. Head on over to courtyard.io and use code HMA at checkout for 15% off today. Courtyard lets collectors rip digital packs of real, authentically graded trading cards, and it's really fun to use, guys. It's free to sign up. And by the way, we're going to be giving away a card this week. And the only thing that you guys have to do to enter that competition, that giveaway, is create a free account on the Courtyard app and then put your username for your account under the pinned comment on today's show. And we were actually able to get a Terry Bradshaw card for you guys for this week's giveaway. Back from 1972. It's a really cool card. Now, the grade isn't super high. It's only a 3.5 PSA graded card, but it's a really cool card that goes back to 1972, which, of course, was a pivotal year for the Pittsburgh Steelers building up their dynasty where they would dominate the rest of the 70s. So if you guys want a chance to win this Terry Bradshaw 1972 card, you guys can put your Courtyard username down there in the comments section. And with Courtyard, guys, real-time odds are listed for each pack before you rip, so there's no loaded boxes or rigged breaks. There's also an instant buyback, so you never get stuck with a card that you don't want. I think that's an awesome feature that they have. You guys can head over to courtyard.io and use my code HMA at checkout for 15% off. And remember, comment your username to enter the giveaway this week. The link is in the comments and description of today's show. And a big thank you to Courtyard for sponsoring us here at Steelers Talk. Continuing on our list of Week 2 storylines in the preseason to watch out for, can the winners keep it up from last week? All right, I had 10 winners on my official winners list on my post-game show last week. If you want to check that out, you guys can go do so for my full thoughts. But, I mean, I thought these 10 players, or actually 8 players, really played well in this particular football game. And I think that, especially guys like Lou Nichols, who is looking to make this team as the 4th running back. I'm going to be looking at Jeremy Bernard as one of these rookies. Can he have a really good performance like he had last week, even when Mason Rudolph isn't throwing him the football? Will Robert Tonyan connect with Will Howard like he was last week? Can Gabriel Rubio be the run stuffer he was this past week? Is Jamin Davis going to get after the quarterback? Hayden Weegan, is he going to be healthy enough? And if he is he going to be as explosive as he was last week, where, of course, he took that 95-yard pass from Drew Aller near the end zone? So I think that all these players played really well last week. Excited to see if they can double up on those performances in this ball game. But then also, how do the rookies look? That's another big question. And obviously, it's a big question for every NFL team heading into a preseason game, because this is really where the rookies get their chance to show the team what they can do. Now, Max Ahanicher not going to be playing in this game, all than likely. Still dealing with that injury. But Jeremy Bernard played really well last week. Excited to see him again. Drew Aller, of course, we've already talked about. Dalen Everett dealing with an injury at the point that I'm filming this video. We'll see if he's able to play. Jennings Dunker as well. We'll see if he's able to play. Same thing goes for Caden Weegan. Unfortunately, there are some rookies that are dealing with some injuries. But Reilly Nowakowski had a touchdown last week. Gabriel Rubio was awesome last week playing at nose tackle. Robert Spears-Jennings has been a stud in camp to this point. Excited to see him play. He had a big TFL last week against the Packers that was super impressive. And Eli Eidenreich, excited to see what Eli can do, maybe some of the receiving chops that he brings to the table. Then another storyline to watch out for here, guys, is the battle at right guard. Obviously, Spencer Anderson is expected to be this team's starting right guard heading into the season, but Brock Hoffman is technically in the race right now. I think Hoffman actually played better than Anderson last week in the preseason, and if I'm being honest, I think Hoffman has played better than Spencer Anderson throughout the course of camp. So could Hoffman put his foot in the door here and kind of break this thing loose and maybe work his way into the starting lineup? I don't think it's impossible, especially if he puts together a really good performance here and Anderson really struggles. But another name to keep an eye on here is Jennings Dunker. Dunker was one of the most impressive offensive linemen on the entire team last week versus Green Bay, driving people backwards in the run game, protecting the quarterback, Drew Aller, pretty darn well in pass protection. I was a little surprised by that. He wasn't the best pass protector at Iowa. So excited about Jennings Dunker's future. He's definitely the future at this position, but we'll see which of these guys can really solidify themselves in the weeks to come. But let me know your opinion down there in the comments section. Who should start at right guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season? Give me an SA for Spencer Anderson, a BH for Brock Hoffman, or a GD for Jennings Dunker. While you answer that question, I'm going to tell you about the other sponsor on today's edition of Steelers Talk by Chat Sports, which is Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Preseason football is here, and there isn't a better place to cash in on your football takes this season than with our friends at Prize Picks. The app is really easy to use. You just pick more than or less than on a few player snap projections and then lock in your lineup. You guys have seen this quite a bit as my season-long projected lineup here for the AFC North. I'm taking the more on Aaron Rodgers' passing touchdowns, the more on sacks for Jalen Ramsey, and the more on rushing touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. I put in a $10 entry fee on this one, and because this is a 6x multiplier lineup, if I win this and I get all three of these projections correct in what PrizePicks calls a power play, I could walk away with $60 in winnings from PrizePicks. But best of all, guys, PrizePicks just switched their offer. All you have to do is play your first $5 lineup with code HMA, and if you win that lineup, you get $150 in additional lineups. Because of this new offer, there's not a better time to join than right now, right before the start of football season. So lock in and win that first lineup. One more time, that's code HMA at signup and get $150 in bonus lineups if you win your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the comments and description to download the app today. As always, play responsibly, and a big thank you to PrizePicks for sponsoring Steelers Talk. Final thing I'm going to be looking out for here in this game is, can Shawn Jenkins hold strong and have a strong performance in this game? Because we have seen over the last several days that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been linked to Raiders safety Isaiah Pola-Mao, who, by the way, is also the nephew of Troy Polamalu and played under Patrick Graham in the Las Vegas Raiders defense dating back to 2022. So he's absolutely somebody that the Steelers could acquire late in the preseason here and can, be injected as this team's number 3 safety, which is what this team brought Shawn Jenkins in free agency to do. But if he's not able to play well, if he's not looking good in coverage, etc., and they feel like the younger Isaiah Pola-Mao is going to be able to do a better job, and the Steelers have to give up a 7th-round pick to make sure that they solidify their safety room, that might be something that they decide to do. So Shawn Jenkins, even though right now definitely somebody that is slated to make this final 53-man roster, you're not just competing against the guys in the safety room. You're competing against the other players the Steelers could theoretically bring in. Darnell Savage learned that lesson the hard way, which is why he's no longer here. So I'm going to be watching number 31 quite a bit early on in this game on the defensive side of the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. What is the number one thing that you'll be watching for this week during the preseason game versus the New York Jets? I'm guessing a lot of people will be talking about Will Howard and Drew Aller down there in the comment section. But if there's something else, feel free to let me know in the comments as well. And if you guys want my post-game all-22 analysis of this upcoming preseason game versus the New York Jets, I'm going to be posting my all-22 analysis on the Pittsburgh Steelers every single game, every single week on my X account at Jack_Sperry. Really do appreciate your guys' support. You guys can also go back and see my all-22 analysis of last week's preseason opener. It's already up on my X account. So if you guys want daily and free extensive Steelers coverage on X, give me a follow at Jack_Sperry. All right, Ponzi, we made it. AFC Championship game at home versus the New England Patriots. Let's just get right into the game, man.
I'm excited, man.
Where we are going to see if the Pittsburgh Steelers can go to the Super Bowl in our Madden simulated season this year. By the way, we do have Madden 27, so we are streaming this on Madden 27, not Madden 26. So listen, man, we saw these two teams play early in the season, in this Madden simulated season. It was the craziest game of Madden I've ever seen. The lead changed 3 times in less than a minute to finish the game in Foxborough, but now we're at Acrisure Stadium for the AFC Championship game. I'm excited to see if we can go to Inglewood here and go to SoFi Stadium to go play for a Super Bowl, Ponzi.
Yeah, I mean, look at this beautiful intro.
Steelers running out of the tunnel, all excited. TJ Watt with the classic celebration.
This is electric, man. Who would have thought that these two teams would meet back up? The game earlier in the season cost the Patriots the division.
Yes, it did. By the way, if the Steelers win this game, they will play the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium.
Got to be the oldest Super Bowl matchup of all time.
So two ancient quarterbacks with some back problems probably, and Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford dueling it out for a title. If we win, we don't want to put the cart before the horse here, but we're kicking it off. It's going to be fielded by New England, who will get the ball first, and they're not even going to get to the 20. Great special teams coverage by the Steelers, and that is where Drake May and the Patriots will take over. Last year's AFC champs.
Man.
They also had to win on the road in the postseason in the AFC Championship game in Denver, but they had Jarrett Stidham at quarterback in that game, and it was an absolute blizzard. So we'll see if Drake, the schedule May, can work the schedule again and get himself into the Super Bowl for the second straight year.
Would be a Mickey Mouse AFC Championship for him, just because the Steelers. But this Steelers team's playing pretty good.
They've been playing pretty well, man. Under center here to start the game. May will hand it off. Huge hole up the middle. And we talked about the run defense being better here in Pittsburgh this year. Not on that play. Huge game for Ramondre Stevenson. First down, Patriots.
It's been one of those things in our Madden season in the Madden 26 where it seems like running backs kind of do pretty well.
Yeah, they have. The last 2 seasons, they've gotten the Steelers' record and where they lose in the playoffs exactly right. 5-step drop from May here. Short throw caught by Henderson. Going to drop a Steelers player here and pick up 9 yards. Ridiculous.
Big helmet Dobbs, someone says. Yeah. Jeremy was wearing one too, right?
Jeremy?
Bernard?
Oh, it's Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Sorry. When you say Jeremy, I think of Jeremy Chugs.
Jeremy Chugs.
Like, what are you talking about? Under center here is May. We'll take a 3-step drop. Quick throw, and it's going to be incomplete. 3rd down and 1. Good coverage by the Steelers. Don't know why he was throwing it so early. And there's A.J. Brown. You guys can see him in the huddle there. Number 1 coming over from the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are talking about the Patriots like they're going to heavily regress this year. Like, I get maybe losing a game or 2 less, but, like, they're still going to be a double-digit win team, playoff team, good football team, man. Like, they got better this year.
Yeah, I mean.
Just in terms of overall talent. And May's a year better. Handoff here on 3rd down and 1. They'll pick it up, get to midfield. First down, Patriots.
A little bit of a revenge game, maybe. A little bit for Patrick Graham.
Yeah. Well, also the Patriots, because we had that crazy finish in Foxborough.
Yeah, that too.
Under center here from May, around midfield. So send Boutte in motion. Takes the snap. Handoff. Henderson, good blocking up front again. It'll be a gain of 7.
I believe you mean booty.
I like saying Boutte.
Like a little pate with the Boutte.
Second down and 3. Shotgun here for the Pats. Spread 3 wide receiver formation here. He'll take the snap. Drop play, no play action. Play action, drop play. Kind of weird, but they're going to dump it off into the flat. They'll pick up the first down, get down to the 33-yard line of the Steelers.
There's no way that would work in real life, right?
Yeah, play action, draw play.
You have to get that ball out.
You have to fake the pass, fake the run, and then still get the ball out. I mean, I don't know. Especially against this Steelers pass rush, good luck having that much time. Under center condensed for New England. We'll take the snap, hand it off to Stevenson, who'll try a spin move. It fails, but he gets 5 yards on the carry. Got to say, the Patriots O-line is winning the line of scrimmage, at least to start this game.
Yeah. Not a good sign in the AFC Championship.
By the way, we got almost 400 people watching live here in our Madden simulated playoff. Steelers trying to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game. Shotgun here for the Patriots. We'll go handoff Henderson, and there's going to be a great run stuff by, looks like Keanu Benton. It'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up.
Type those threes, man.
Type those threes. Let's get off the field. By the way, $50 Super Chats and Venmos. We're doing tortilla slaps. We'll do Here We Go Steelers for $10 Super Chats. Shotgun here for May. He'll take the snap, play action, pressure on him. He's going to throw it, and it's somehow complete. Going to throw a defender to the ground. Gets down to the 14-yard line. First down, Patriots. I don't know, man. I think it's completely disrespectful how much Madden thinks these players can just shrug off, like Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, bro? Patriots, methodical drive to start this game. Pony formation here with 2 running backs. Takes the snap. They send pressure. He will throw short, and it's going to be knocked out. Good play by the Steelers. It looked like Jalen Ramsey was the one that knocked that one away. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Pats.
I will say,
by the way, we have a poll right now. Which Steelers QB will play better on Friday night? 50-50 with 490 votes between Howard and Howard.
I was just about to
It's about as split as you can get. Literally. Shotgun here for Aller, or not Aller, May.
my
Takes a
goodness.
snap. Now he's rolling to the left. Now he's looking to run. Somebody get Drake May. He's going to slide down for a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and manageable coming up from the 8. Type those threes. Got to stop them to a field goal here. Stopping them to a field goal after how far they've gone will be demoralizing for New England.
You wouldn't debate about going for it here if you're the Patriots?
Shotgun here for May. Takes a snap. Handoff Henderson. Is he going to get there? I don't know why they're running the ball. 1 yard gain. Ramsey brings them down. 4th down and 3. Now they have a decision to make. And
That's
there's
exactly what I was talking about.
And there's the goblin, Mike McCarthy.
Oh my God.
Because
Look, at least he's in the game.
apparently Madden doesn't think that fat people exist. Under center here for May on 4th down and 3. Play action. Pressure. Sacked by Keanu Benton. And the Steelers take over. Let's go. Oh, my goodness. They go for it. They go to play action. I don't even think Keanu Benton was touched. And he brings down Drake May. Defensive stop for the Steelers. And there goes Aaron Rodgers walking out on the field for the first time today.
I swear it's not rigged. Keanu Benton just got paid and made a big play.
Keanu Benton just got paid, made a huge play in the AFC chip.
Because we had a defensive touchdown from Nick Herbig like the day after he got paid.
Yeah, true. True.
These players, man.
Actually, no. Empty formation for Rodgers to start this game. You've got trips right. Now they're going to bring Dowdle in. Takes the snap. Play action. Now throws over the middle. It's caught by Muth. I believe that's Muth anyway. Or no, it's Pittman. My mistake. 8 yard gain.
I will say, Muth is skinny for whatever reason.
Apparently everybody's skinny in this game. Even the offensive linemen. It's like Madden doesn't want to fat shame anybody.
Oh, give me some big boys.
I need some big boys on the line, dude. Under center wing formation, 13 personnel. They'll hand it off to Dowdle, who was awesome in the divisional round versus Kansas City. Or was it the Houston game?
Nope.
I think
Definitely last week.
Yeah. Picks up the first down on short yardage. First down Steelers. Type those ones.
The thing is, kind of single-handedly carried them to that win, you could argue.
He was awesome.
Carries.
Shotgun here, condensed formation with 3 receivers. Hand off to Dowdle, trying to find a lane. He can't grab it. It'll be a 1 yard gain. Oh, man.
Man, if we do have a Will Howard, Drew Aller quarterback competition next year.
God, dude, I don't know if this fan base can handle it. I really don't. I really don't think this fan base can handle a Will Howard versus Drew Aller QB1 competition next year. From shotgun, Rodgers now rolling to his right. He's going to get sacked. Thank God he hung on to it. Looked like the ball was being held a little loose in one hand by Rodgers, but he does not give it up. It'll be 3rd and 18, but we're staring a 3 and out in the face right now, folks.
I mean, not really. We already got a first down.
Oh, never mind. We did get a first down. I'm an idiot.
Look at this cinematic. I will say the presentation looks a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shotgun here, trips left. Rodgers trying to move the chains on 3rd and very long. He'll motion his running back out with the Kenny Gainwell motion. Takes the snap. Stepping up and through. He's still looking. He's going to look to run. I don't think he could run 18 yards to save his life.
At that point, just lateral.
4 yard gain for Rodgers. Put it on the stat sheet. It's more rushing yards than Matthew Stafford had all last season. And it's 4th and 14. The Steelers will punt.
Not ideal after the turnover on downs, but at least he got a first down.
Kicks away. It's going to be fielded and fair caught at the 33-yard line.
Quiet day for A.J. Brown so far.
Yeah, nothing from that so far. Beautiful. All right, first down. I formation for New England. Play action, will throw, and it will be caught and taken down for a 9.5-yard gain.
Quandale Dingleton, greatest name of all time, or Quandale Dingle. Jack, you had more rushing yards than Matthew Stafford last year.
I did. And he won league MVP, but all I hear about is Rodgers sucks because he can't move. It's like, that's not the most important thing, dog. It's like, it's a nice thing to have. Do you need it? Not necessarily if you have the right help. Oh, what a run stuff by Captain Cam Hayward on second down. It'll be 3rd and inches. That was nasty.
Yeah, that was dirty.
All right, 3rd and inches. I formation again for New England. They'll motion the fullback into the sniffer, and then they'll send the tight end in motion. Takes the snap. Handoff, and they're going to run stuff him again. Send the punter out, New England. What a pair of plays by the Steelers' run defense. This time, I think it was Patrick Queen flying in there to make the tackle. Let's go. Let's go, man. So they will punt. Steelers with an impressive stop, stopping them on 2nd and inches and 3rd and inches to force the punt. Be punted away here. Say punt again, Sperry. I dare you. And it'll go into the end zone. Touchback. Steelers will take over at the 20. By the way, we're into the second quarter at this point.
Only seen this is going to be the second drive for the Steelers.
Correct.
Very methodical. Well, the thing is, Patriots took up most of that first quarter.
That's right.
So go on a long drive here, and you get the ball back at half.
Now there's a flag. It's going to be false start on the Steelers.
That's not fun. It's on Rico Dowdle. Sam is asking to see Big Mike. Or is it Sash?
Dude, Mike McCarthy looks terrible because he's still got like the giant big head and no chin, but he's like skinny. It's like the weirdest body shape I've ever seen. Shotgun here, 1st down and 10 after the false start. Rodgers will take the shotgun snap and hand it off to Rico Dowdle. He won't get much. Gets 2 yards. 2nd down and 13 coming up. Shotgun. 3 receiver set here for Pittsburgh on 2nd and very long. He'll take the snap. He's looking, will throw, middle caught. Pat Frymouth, nobody near him. And he's going to get down. Big gain to the 39-yard line. 1st down. Muth. Let's go. Get those Muths in the chat. Rodgers finds the right man underneath. Muth does the rest after the catch. 1st down, and now Aaron Rodgers bringing out the discount double check early. Over 400 people watching the stream. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Of course, we'll be actually calling a real game on Friday with our live watch party. Make sure you guys join us for that as well. A little bit of a play-action boot and the little flat route thrown and caught for a gain of 4. $2 from Jacob says, I remember 2016 AFC Championship, Patriots 36-17. Yeah, it's another revenge game here, Ponzi, because playing the team that beat us in the last AFC Championship game we went to.
Yep.
Revenge from a decade ago. Under center.
Last year, Steelers won a playoff game.
Takes the snap. It's going to be toss play to the left, and there goes Dowdle. There's no Patriots defender even close to touching him as he gets all the way down to the New England 32. The Steelers are well in position to score first here in this AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that Patriots loss in the 2016 AFC Championship kicked off this playoff losing streak.
Under center for Rodgers, condensed, sends a man in motion. Play action, roll it to the left. Now gets it to the quick flat route for a gain of 1. Great play. Now an injury timeout for New England. 97. Skinny as hell. These players' bodies are not proportionate to real NFL bodies. It's not even close. Like, dude, you look at that huddle for the Steelers, it's like if you just took away the numbers, it'd be hard to tell who is the O-lineman, who are the receivers, who's the quarterback. And now Rodgers is in shotgun, 3-receiver set, condensed. Rodgers takes the snap. He's looking. He will throw, double covered. It's somehow caught, and there goes DK. 2 Patriots defenders fall down. Touchdown, DK Metcalf, and the Steelers strike first. Let's go, man. DK, have it your way. He scores. Type those DKs in the chat. Number 31 really screwed the Patriots. He dove to try to make a play on the football, and Metcalf just caught it, turned upfield, and he was gone. Let's go, man. Steelers take the lead. What should I have for dinner tonight, ladies and gents? Cassie is out with the girls tonight, so I got free reign on dinner. Kick is up and good. I don't know, man.
Start a poll.
Yeah, start a poll. I'm definitely considering a burger.
Yeah, Chicken Express for the first time today.
Yeah, I had chicken for lunch. Chicken Express for the first time in my life today. And it was awesome. I don't know if any of you guys in the chat have had Chicken Express, but it's gas.
I don't know what I'm going to eat. I'm probably going to cook some spaghetti.
Spaghetti sounds good. Spaghetti sounds good.
You can't get that. You have to like sit down at Olive Garden for that though. If you're gonna like order
yeah,
out to
I'm not gonna be the sad sack that goes to Olive Garden by himself. Boswell kicks it away. He fielded at around the 6-7 yard line, and he'll be taken down at the 24.
There's no way we're still doing this, man. I do it.
Yeah, you do it.
I do it ironically.
Hypocrite.
Trying to make you laugh.
I'm just trying to make you laugh.
Nah.
Robert Locks is asking about what about Dave's hot chicken. I like Dave's, but I had chicken for lunch.
You can't. I mean, you can't double dip.
I don't know if you can double dip on chicken strips in a day. Need some variety in there. You know what I'm saying? First down and 10. Shotgun for May. 3-receiver set. Takes the snap. Looking, stepping up, pressure in his face. Has to try and check it down. He just throws it away. Incomplete. Second down coming up. $2 from Jacob, says Jack Sperry. Is good shape. I will give Jack credit.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jacob.
And then he says, "Eat soup."
Eat soup, Jack. Ooh. Actually, I had soup last night at Panera.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Takes the snap, little quick throw, and this tight end has no idea what he's doing, making moves. Have you ever seen like 2K, how like a bunch of people will do all these crazy moves, but like if you really think about it, they're not really going anywhere. Like you can just stand in place as a defender and they're not driving past you or anything. Like they're just doing a bunch of crazy moves. That's what that tight end was doing right there. Like trying to do jukes and all this different stuff. They just weren't there. 2-minute warning from Pittsburgh. 7-0 Steelers.
Yeah, the Madden equivalent to that is like the fake half spin. I see that all the time.
Shotgun here for May. He'll take the snap. He's got some time, but it's quickly closing. He throws close to the sticks. It's caught, and he's going to pick it up. Pop Douglas on the catch. Actually, no, Romeo Doubs on the catch. My mistake. I really thought Romeo Doubs was going to be a Steeler this year, man. Played with Aaron Rodgers before. Good route runner. Kind of like what you would think that they'd be looking for, but he ends up going to New England. Steelers end up opting for the more senior Michael Pittman Jr., and now under center, wing formation for New England. They're going to hand it off to their running back, Stevenson, who will pick up 3.
Do you think they really ever tried to go after Dobbs like that, though?
What's up?
Do you think they tried to go after Dobbs like that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because I feel like they gave Pittman a pretty similar amount of money. Takes the snap, looking May, stepping up, now stepping through, and he's going to run, and he's going to be knocked out, fumble picked up by the Steelers. Oh, my goodness. Patrick Queen on the recovery. The Steelers have the ball in Patriots territory with a chance to go up 2 scores and get the ball to start the second half. Let's go. What a start to this AFC Championship game. Patrick Queen forced the fumble and picked it up. What a play by Queenie. And the Steelers have the ball at the Patriots 44 with a chance to take a 2-possession lead, which will then give them a chance to go up by 3 scores in the second half when they get the ball first. Big drive coming up. Shotgun here. Takes the snap, Rodgers. He'll throw over the middle, tight coverage, incomplete. Tried to go to Metcalf. And now Drake May is blaming his own teammates for his fumble. Good luck, Drake May. Good looks, man.
And we're going to have a very interesting dynamic of this 2025 QB class, man. Or 2024.
Takes the snap, throwing down the field, open, caught. There he goes. He's streaking Jeremy Bernard down to the 14-yard line. An absolute dot from Rodgers. First step, Steelers. Talking about Caleb, Jaden,
Nix.
Yeah, Nix, Penix,
JJ.
JJ and Penix are the busts from that group. Takes the snap, Rodgers, handoff, Dowdle, and he will go down to, after a 1-yard gain, timeout Pittsburgh. Shout out Mike McCarthy.
Shout out Mike McCarthy. As a reminder, we will be answering Super Chats throughout.
Yes, make sure you super chat if you want something answered. Shotgun, spread, formation with 3 receivers. He'll take the snap. Rodgers throws quickly. It is caught by Rico Dowdle for a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 5 coming up.
I don't like how the Steelers are being conservative here, man. You have the timeouts. Take shots towards the end zone, you know?
I think they feel like they can dump it off if they want to because they got the timeouts.
Yeah, but like, it's 3rd down to 5 already, and it's like
3rd down and 5. They still got the middle of the field open to them because they have one more timeout. See what they do here. They go trips left, shotgun Rodgers. He'll take the snap. He's looking. Now he's looking to step up. He will be sacked, and the Steelers should let this clock wind all the way down and kick the field goal.
Patriots took a timeout.
Patriots call timeout. That's actually a smart move by them. Give themselves some time to maybe try and go match this field goal from Pittsburgh, because I think we all know Boswell's making this shit. $5 from Gamer Plush says, I know it was vanilla, but I loved how the middle of the field has been utilized in the preseason this season. Me too, man. Hope we see more of it on Friday. And hopefully when we get to the season, Rodgers actually does the same thing these younger guys are doing, and that's attack the middle of the field. Kick is up and good. 10-0 Steelers in the AFC Championship. Man. Just so you guys know, when we've done these Madden simulated seasons in the past, the last 2 years, the Steelers have gone 10-7, their actual record in real life, and have lost in the first round of the playoffs. The same round that they lost in real life.
I don't know, Jim.
Right now, the Steelers went 11-6. And now they're in the AFC Championship game at home with a 10-point lead versus the reigning AFC champs.
I don't know,
I'm not
Jim.
saying it's going to happen this year, but, I mean, Madden's been right the last 2 years. It's fielded at the 5 by the Pats. They'll take it past the 25 to the 28. Drake May has 20 seconds and 2 timeouts to try and get this team into field goal range.
I'm getting a lot of congrats for the timeouts. Hey, man, if this proves anything, it was Madden 26's fault.
Yeah, Madden 26 sucks.
You can get your F Ponzi's down below, but I tried. Damn it.
Do we have Dave A here? Is Dave still upset we didn't redo the Bronco game? I formation. This isn't really a formation you'd think that would get you into field goal range, but they handed off. So they called the timeout to get the ball back, and they're just going to run out the rest of the half? Like, why bother?
See, I can't help them with that. Ladome says he's got the Steelers or Texans coming out of the AFC.
I mean, the Texans had the defense last year to win the Super Bowl. And C.J. Stroud was so bad that they couldn't do it. In fact, they didn't come close, really. Like, the only reason why, they even won a playoff game, it wasn't because C.J. Stroud played well against the Steelers. It was because the Steelers' offense was that bad that game. Well, now we get into the second half of the AFC Championship game. 10-0 Steelers, and the Steelers get the ball, remember. Because they forced the fourth down.
They technically had 2 turnovers.
And the turnover, they technically had 2 turnovers. Jesus Christ.
Goodness.
You had the turnover on downs, and then you had the fumble from Drake May, which was huge in this game. Now the Steelers get the ball, fielded at the 5, and taken to around the 25 to the 26. All right. If you go up 3 scores in the second half of a Madden game, it's pretty much over.
You say that.
I know I say that, but I especially with this game, because when we played this game in Foxborough earlier in the offseason, the Patriots were up by 17 points in the fourth quarter, and the Steelers came back to win, which was the craziest fourth quarter I've ever seen in the game.
Not only that, Sperry, the Patriots had 2 fourth down and goals at the 20.
Yep. Under center is Rodgers. Condensed formation. Quick little RPO slant caught for a gain of 5.
Don't know who that was.
Second down and 5. You guys can see it's getting a bit darker there at our Acrisure Stadium. Rodgers will send Metcalf in motion, takes the snap, hands it off. Dowdle again. He's got the superstar abilities, breaking tackles, weaving his way through down to the 46-yard line. First down, Steelers. Rico Dowdle is sick in this game, man. He's got the dark visor.
Dowdle!
Just looks so cool, dude.
Dude, like, Madden does make visors look like they have aura.
Mm-hmm. Under center. Condensed formation. Play action, quick throw. Good job with pressure in Rodgers' face to find Jeremy Bernard for a solid gain, setting up second down and short. 8-yard gain there for Pittsburgh. By the way, if the Steelers can pull this out, they will play the Los Angeles Rams in what will be a home Super Bowl for them in L.A. And now Rodgers takes the snap in the shotgun from a condensed set. He'll hand it off to Dowdle. Disgusting spin move, and he'll pick up a first down for Pittsburgh. Got some super chats coming in. We'll hit those in a sec.
Probably after this drive. Get to those supers.
First down. Under center condensed again for Rodgers. Looks like Warren is the back now. And they will go play action, roll out to the right, quick throw to Muth, and he's going to get blown up. Incomplete. It was a good thing it was incomplete. It would have been a multiple yard loss.
Drake May.
Did I say Drake May?
He said May.
Aaron Rodgers, my mistake.
Come on, Sperry. Can't be rooting for the other quarterback here. A future Steeler, potentially?
Shotgun here with a wide bunch out to the right. Dowdle back in the game. Snap for Rodgers. Quick little slant route. Caught for a solid gain of 7, setting up third down and short. That was to Pittman, the second catch of the game.
This is perfect for the Steelers, though.
Steelers are in field goal range here, but you're up 10 with a chance to go up 3 scores with a touchdown. I think the Steelers should be very aggressive here. Go for the touchdown. Go for the kill. Go for that AFC Championship trophy. That Lamar Hunt trophy, baby. And now the Steelers, the hard count, draws the encroachment on the Patriots. First down, Steelers.
Let me hear your snap count, Sperry.
Set up. Green 19. Green 19. Set up. Can. Set up. Green 19. Green 19. Set up. There we go.
Got him.
Grade my Aaron Rodgers impression.
I'm not even going to do mine again.
It's going to be a handoff here to Dowdle, who finds some space, gets down to the 11. You know what I give myself? I give myself an 8 out of 8.
I'll give you a 7.5.
Shotgun here for Rodgers. Wide bunch to the left this time. Takes the snap. Rolling out to the left. Looking. Throw it away.
What
was that play? Aaron Rodgers looking like an absolute dumbass out there.
Did they put Rodgers' realm in on accident?
That looked more like Rodgers' realm than Rodgers. And by the way, shout out to Rodgers' realm. Does great work. 2nd down and 13. Trips right. Rodgers will take the snap, low snap, but they'll hand it off to Dowdle, who's not going to get much, just a yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 12 coming up.
Dude.
Big play coming up. If Rodgers can get this team into the end zone here on a 3rd and very long situation, more than likely, not locking it in, but more than likely, he's going to be playing in his home state, his home city, to win a Super Bowl to ride off into the sunset. How cool would that be? Shotgun for Rodgers, looking, throwing, middle, caught. DK Metcalf close to first down yardage. 4th and 3 from the 4. I'm going for this, guys. I'm sorry, I am. I'm going for this. I trust my defense to get a stop if you don't get it, and you go up 3 scores if you just get 4 yards here.
What should they do, guys?
They're going for it. Let's go. Under center, I formation. 1 receiver, Metcalf lined up out wide to the right. Handoff, not enough blocking. Couldn't get it. I think you got to put the ball in the hands of Rodgers in that situation. I hate the call from Mike McCarthy to hand that off.
That was a Mike Tomlin call right there.
Like, that was like an Arthur Smith, Matt Canada call right there, man.
If any condolences here, or consolences, whatever the fuck, you put them in, they had to go far.
Listen, man, I was fine with the call. I'm fine with the decision. I hate the call.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now the Patriots get the ball. They got to go the full length of the field, though, to score.
Bernard
Still up 2 scores. Bernard says A-Rod said the Jets made him fall out of love with football. A-Rod put he made his bad in that. I don't Bernard, if you want to rephrase that.
I think it's that he fell in love with A-Rod, or fell in love with football. He made his bed in that spot, which makes sense.
I guess. $5 from Rob Locke says, shout out to Ponzi, who has really come into his own. We are blessed to have you with us. Absolutely. He's doing a great job. And now a little bit of a throw over the middle here for a gain of 8. It's going to be another great season here with you, pal.
I'm excited. Hopefully a lot closer in the playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully less crazy finishes at the end of the season, at the end of games.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can actually.
DK Metcalf doesn't punch someone.
Yeah, hopefully DK Metcalf doesn't punch anybody. 2nd down and 2, shotgun May. We'll go draw play, and he's going to find a lane, and Stevenson will pick up the first down. But a flag, holding, please.
Personal foul.
Face mask on the Steelers. That'll be an extra 15. Jaquan Brisker, the Pittsburgh native, trying to win an AFC championship game in his home city with the face mask.
Come on, Brisker. David makes a good point for our courtyard card. 1972 was the year of the Immaculate Reception.
Yep, under center. Going to be double fake here for May. Has to get rid of it because pressure's in his face, and Dobbs will take it to the 40-yard line for a 5-yard gain.
Might be asking a biased crowd.
It's kind of crazy that we still have almost 400 people watching live, and all we're doing is watching Madden, man. You guys are the best fans in the world. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, so thank you so much for all of your support. 2nd down and 5 now. 3 receivers set. They send Brown in motion, who still doesn't have a catch today, by the way. Handoff, and it's going to be another Stevenson run that goes for a first down, gets down to the 50-yard line. So midfield for the Patriots. They're starting to approach scoring range here. And if they do that, they're going to make this a 1-score game in the second half. If the Steelers lose this game, that 4th down and 3 call to run it, like an outside run in that situation. When Rodgers has been playing as well as he has in this game, is just going to come back to haunt us here. Now, a quick throw, it's dropped. Actually, no, caught. The ball came out. Why is it not a fumble? Was he down? I guess, but 2-yard gain for New England.
The refs, man. If that happened in real life,
I'd be so pissed if it happened in real life. Like, this is just Madden, so it's like whatever. But like, if that happened in the AFC Championship game, I'd be losing my fucking shit.
You were losing your shit at the 4th down call against the Ravens last year.
I was.
Jacob trolling me. Ponzi, Cowboys fan, never saw a championship. Never even saw a championship appearance.
Yep. 30 years, no title game appearances.
It's a little.
So if you think you have it bad as a Steelers fan, just go look around the league and just look at some of the misery some of these other fan bases have to deal with every single year. Shotgun, 2x2 set, takes the snap, looking around. May will throw. It's caught and knocked out. Great play. Who is that there that knocked that out? I didn't catch the number there, but a great PBU by the Steelers. It'll be 3rd down and 8 as May is on the ground, slow to get up. Here we go.
Hurt.
Here we go. 3rd down and 8. I want you at your best. I want to beat you at your best. A little bit of a freeze here, Ponzi.
Oopsie.
F Ponzi in the chat. Okay, now we're back. Empty formation, 3rd and 8. Got to get a first down to get into field goal range at least. So big play here for the Steelers defense. Takes the snap. They send pressure. Throws into the soft spot. First down, Patriots down to the 30. You can almost put it in the bank. They're getting 3 points here unless there's a big impact play.
Just hold them out of the end zone here.
Shotgun takes the snap, looking May. First down, throw, caught, and he will pick up a solid 7 yards on the quick throw. Down to the 23.
The thing is, it's not.
By the way, we're now into the 4th quarter. About 6 minutes left to go in the AFC Championship game in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers are up 2 scores, but doesn't seem like they will be for long here. Got to hold on to this lead to go to SoFi Stadium and play the Rams in the Super Bowl this year. It's going to be a little bit of a toss and a great play by TJ Watt. A TFL here. It'll be 3rd down and 6 as he does the Michael Jackson celebration. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw the Michael Jackson movie in theaters this year, but oh my goodness, what a theater experience. No free ads, but dude, the concert scenes in that movie, unbelievable. Shotgun, spread formation with 3 receivers. Handoff, good push at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to fight forward, break a tackle, and picks up a first down to the Steelers' 14-yard line. And that one is Ramondre Stevenson.
It's a terrible quality, I know, Sperry. I haven't seen a movie in theaters in so long, man.
That is sad. There's nothing better than going to the movies, man.
I didn't see Obsession this year. That was my first movie I saw in like 3 years.
Okay. Shotgun here from May. Man in motion. Now we'll throw to the motion man. Nobody's even covering him. Touchdown, Patriots. We have a ball game.
That's not good.
I mean, just nobody. Miscommunication. Nobody taking the tight end there. And now they bring this down to a 4-point lead. Pending an extra point here, it's going to be 3 points. And the Patriots score for the first time in this ballgame. This is a weird game, though, Ponzi, because the first time these two teams played back in week 3. Wait. I'm trying to remember. Is it week 3?
Yep.
Yeah, it's week 3. Because I was getting last year's schedule and this year's schedule mixed up. It was like a super high-scoring game. The final score was like 42-30-something or something like that.
It seems defense is a lot more prevalent in Madden 27. They update like the AI and all that, too.
Kick is up, and it is good. 10-7. Steelers still lead. And by the way, if they can get a touchdown on this next drive,
it's over.
It's pretty much over. So Aaron Rodgers has a chance to lock this thing up for the Pittsburgh Steelers and go to the Super Bowl at SoFi Stadium in his hometown. Well, not his hometown, but you guys get the gist. He's from Malibu, or at least that's where he lives now. Lives in California.
Cali boy.
To be able to go home to California and try to win a Super Bowl in his final year with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Rams would be interesting to say the least. All right, this kick is fielded inside the 5, and a nice move by Weegan gets him to the 25, and that's where Rodgers will take the field in this big-time clutch drive to put away the New England Patriots. Come on.
Here from Bernard, $2. What does enforced mean?
Enforced? What do you mean?
I don't know, man.
Enforced penalty?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe?
Anyway, second one. I mean, A-Rod made his bed with the Jets, but it's the Jets. They suck last year, and A-Rod won the AFC North and made the playoffs. And he says is 4 yards a positive.
Yeah,
gain.
like the failure of the Jets in 2024 was not on Rodgers. It was on complete and utter dysfunctional organization. That's what it was. Quick throw from Rodgers over the middle, an absolute bullet caught by, I believe that's Jeremy Bernard, the rookie out of Alabama. He's been big today. Picks up 9.
And then he says with the $2 is 4 yards a positive gain.
Yes, it is. Anything that's more than 0 yards is a positive gain, Bernard.
Maybe you mean a successful play?
A successful gain depends on the down and distance.
Yeah.
Shotgun here. 2 tight ends set. And they're going to get him to jump off sides again. Rodgers got him with the hard count. God, man, this is awesome.
To that clock.
Chew that clock up, man. 4 minutes and 13 seconds left. Condensed formation with 3 receivers. Shotgun Rodgers gives his man a little signal, takes the snap. Now he'll throw outside real quick, and he'll be caught for a gain of 4. And it's Jeremy Bernard again, who I believe has the most catches in this game.
Yeah, I believe so. We'll actually see how Bernard gets used in the regular season. I suspect him and Roman will be sharing a lot, right?
Mm-hmm. Roman will be the primary, but Jeremy will get in. Takes a snap. It's going to be a handoff here to Dowdle. Makes one cut. Makes another cut. Makes a man miss. Gets another first down for the Steelers as they get into New England territory. Now, listen, man, a field goal helps. It forces the Patriots to score a touchdown on their next drive, but obviously the touchdown would be the killing blow. Pause.
He said pause.
Under 4 minutes left. Steelers up by 3, and they're driving at the Patriots 45. Under center is Rodgers. Takes the snap, tosses it out to Dowdle. He's got the edge. There he goes. Nobody's in front of him. He gets past the defender, gets all the way down to the 23-yard line. First down, Steelers.
Don't like running out of bounds.
Did run out of bounds, so the clock stops. But listen, man, if you score a touchdown here on this drive, it doesn't matter really how much time is left on the clock from this point forward. Unless there's an onside kick that's successful, it's going to be very difficult for the Patriots to win this game. Under center, I formation will send Darnell Washington from the tight end from the fullback position to the sniffer. Send another man in motion, play action. Rodgers rolling to his right now. Nothing there, throw it away. He does. Good job, Rodgers.
It's like you're controlling him.
Did we get news on? No, never mind.
No, it is NBA.
So I thought Cleveland just announced their starter. I mean, they might as well at this point. Shooter Sanders blows. Takes the snap, Rodgers, looking, pressure in his face. Oh, my goodness, how did he not fumble that?
The ball
was literally like on the helmet of the defenders in one hand for Rodgers. In real life, that is a fumble every day of the week, but somehow Rodgers hangs on to it.
That's a fumble and potentially 6.
3rd down and 9. Steelers should just look to run this ball, make New England use one of their timeouts. Rodgers from the shotgun takes the snap. He's got a clean pocket here. He's going to launch down the field. He's got a man! Oh, he underthrew him! And that would have been the game! DK Metcalf beat Christian Gonzalez on the go, and Rodgers had him. He just underthrew it, and Gonzalez broke it up. So now the Steelers need to rely on a 48-yard field goal from Boswell to make this a 6-point game. Oh, almost blocked. Its kick is up, and it is good. Thank Christ.
Oh, look how close
Look how close they were to blocking that kick, ladies and gentlemen. But it goes up, and it is good. So now the Patriots have 2 minutes and 39 seconds. If they score a touchdown and then they get an extra point, they win the AFC for the 2nd straight year in a row. If the Steelers defense can stop them, the Steelers will be going to the Super Bowl in the first year of the Mike McCarthy era, and Aaron Rodgers will go home to California to play his last ever NFL game to win a Super Bowl and ride off into the sunset. Kick is away. And win, by the way, Mike McCarthy, Pittsburgh native, Super Bowl championship. And that return will be taken out to the 28. Let's see if the Steelers defense can hold firm for their head coach and their quarterback versus Drake May, one of the best quarterbacks in the entire National Football League.
Not to be a negative Nancy here. If they did lose this game, this would be the exact type of game that might convince Rodgers to come back for one more year.
Yeah, that's true. Like if this happened in real life or they were real close to going and they just missed it, and Rodgers is coming off a good season where the team goes 11-6, etc. Like I could see him come back for another year. He says it's not going to happen at this point, but I wouldn't completely put it at 0 if that's the case. May looking to run. He's stepping through, and he's going to slide down after a gain of 3. He would have been blown up by, look like Brisker there if he wouldn't have given himself up. 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Pats. Clock continues to tick.
May already has 1 fumble in this game.
Patriots at the 30. They got to go 70 yards in 2 minutes. Are they going to get this playoff before the 2-minute warning? They do. May looking, clean pocket, throws it his check down, and it's incomplete. Good coverage by the Steelers, and that's the 2-minute warning. Steelers up 13-7. Oh, boy. Steelers up 13-7, and they are 1 minute and 58 seconds away from going to a Super Bowl in this Madden simulated season. Shotgun spread formation for New England. Deep drop for May. He's looking to step up, throws middle, almost intercepted. It hit the back of a Steelers player, Brandon Eccles, the slot corner. Got a super chat here. We'll get that up here soon. Over 400 people watching live.
This is the game, guys. Not those 4s.
4th and 7. This is the game, and this is pretty much the season. Takes the snap. May looking, rolling to his right, throws on the run. Beautifully layered football all the way to the 47. How did Drake May pull off that throw?
Dude.
In a messy pocket, rolling to his right, throwing a beautifully layered football over the second layer of the Steelers zone defense. I cannot believe it. And now the Patriots are in Steelers territory with still 1:47 left. The Patriots just called their first timeout. This game is coming down to the wire. Shotgun for May, 3 receivers. We still don't have a catch from A.J. Brown in this entire game, by the way. Now he goes empty. Takes the snap, May. Clean pocket. Throws the short route to Brown for his first catch of the day. Shakes off a couple Steelers defenders. Couldn't quite move the chains, though. It's 2nd down and inches. No timeouts called here. Shout out to Andrew Longoria with a 10. Says, howdy, Jack and Pons. Looking at last week's game, how do you think the current offensive line held up? First group didn't play all that well, if I'm being honest. But as the game went on, the 2nd and 3rd team groups I thought played better. Jennings Dunker played really well, but the starting guys need to play better moving forward. Now May will launch down the field. Tight coverage. It's caught by Booty down to the 20-yard line. Timeout, New England. Oh, my gosh, folks. Oh, my gosh. We had him at 4th and fucking 7.
I just keep thinking of that DK Metcalf throw right now.
If you could have just hit DK Metcalf in stride, this game's over. But now the defense is tasked with getting a stop. Takes the snap. May looking. Clean pocket. Steps up. Now steps through. Looking to run. Blitz balls out. It's picked up by the Steelers. Payne Wilson. Patrick Queen just sent the Steelers to the Super Bowl. Patrick Queen with his 2nd forced fumble on Drake May. And right when it looked like the Patriots might take it at the last second, Patrick Queen delivers the hit. Peyton Wilson picks it up. And the Patriots don't have enough timeouts. The Steelers just have to take a couple knees and this thing will be over. Aaron Rodgers is going to lead the Steelers to the Super Bowl in this Madden simulated season. It's a miracle. Oh my goodness. Patrick fucking Queen, man.
2 forced fumbles.
2 forced fumbles. He is going to win the AFC Championship MVP. I don't even know if they have that. As Rodgers will knee this thing out, and the Pittsburgh Steelers win the AFC Championship game at home, 13-7. And in the first year of the Mike McCarthy era here in Madden, the Steelers will go to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, to take on the vaunted Los Angeles Rams to try and get Aaron Rodgers and Cam Hayward, all in likely, to ride off into that California sunset as Super Bowl champions. If you guys are ready for that Super Bowl stream, we're going to be doing it next week. All right, so we're going to be having another watch party or another live show next week. Or probably early on in the week, probably Tuesday is probably when we'll do it. So if you guys want to see the Madden simulated Super Bowl here between the Steelers and Rams at SoFi Stadium and see if Aaron Rodgers is projected to win a Super Bowl this year, according to Madden, apparently. Make sure you tune in on Tuesday. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. By the way, Andrew Longoria put in a 10, so it's fitting because the Steelers just won. But here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Shout out to all the people that are watching. Still 400-plus people watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting our channel. We will see you guys next in a live setting on Friday evening for Steelers versus Packers. Will Howard first half, Drew Aller second half. Should be a very fun night. Make sure you guys join us for Super Chat raffles, live Q&A, a 90-minute pregame show, postgame coverage, live play-by-play and analysis. It's all going to be right here on Steelers Talk, guys. So if you don't want to miss it, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And for me and Ponzi, we'll see you guys next time.